Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to do my June art tag. I did say that I would try and squeeze the second one in well before the end of June. It's the 20th now, so I thought it might be it's time to do it. So here we are. So, and I'm going to use one of my new paper pads. This is Vie Parisienne, or Life in Paris, if you don't speak French. And I'm going to use a couple of the pages from this today because this lends itself to do like a dual page layer. And my theme today, or the theme for June, is going to be frames and windows. There you go. So we're going to use that as the basis, the theme for June. So it's frames and windows. So what I've done is I've taken 2 pages from the book. They just literally happen to be opposites in the actual book itself. So if you see where it was torn out, they actually do match, which is perfect. But I want that side and I want this side because this is a view of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. From a beautiful cafe, made up, obviously it's imagined, and this is a beautiful kind of doorway to one of those beautiful Parisian buildings. And so that's what I'm going to do. So what I've done is I've taken my art tag, I've taken the front cover off, because I've got the, as you can see, with the shine. I'm just trying to get that fully shined up. There you go. Da, da, da. You can see all the lights in the room. And I use that as a positioning cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up and try and get it so it's as straight as possible, and in the middle just take a pencil. It helps if the pencil is sharp, so you're getting as close to the edge or close to your template as you possibly can. So these art tag templates, the kit, you get the acetate, the clear acrylic cover, the book ring, and an MDF back in the art tag kit, if you didn't know already. I know it's a shameless plug, but I'm using the product. I have been using the product all year so far, and I'm going to continue to use the product all year. So if you wanted to join in or wanted one of these for next year, then you can. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to cut round where the pencil mark was. Now this probably will be just a tad bigger than what it needs to be because I'm cutting towards the outside of the line, and I really should have cut towards the inside of the line, but that doesn't matter because we can always change it and trim it off later. So as you can hear in the background probably, I do have a fan going full blast today because, again, it's another very, very uncomfortable warm day. Very, very uncomfortable and warm. Right, so let's get the tag that I'm going to be using this on. If I turn that over, why is that so much bigger? Because I haven't cut around the bottom, have I? There. There. And of course it's very, very warm today, which also means brain's not functioning properly. Trying to stay hydrated, all that kind of malarkey. Alright, so that's, yeah, it's just a little bit bigger around the outside, which is fine, I don't mind that, because I can always trim it down again later. So we're going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to position this tag and try and get it as close to the top as I can, and do this. I think this time what I'll try and do is maybe just go around and just pop a weight on that and get it in the middle, and then using my cutting mat and a knife, I'll just use the template That way I'm going to get as close to as I probably can. Does help if your cutting knife is sharp. There we go. I've not cut all the way through. So what I'll do is I'll just come back in with the scissors. That wouldn't make the right mess of that look, but that's all right. We don't mind a little bit. More of a guide than anything. There we go. Right. And then we'll just see what that looks like. Again, that doesn't matter because I can always flip it round and trim that off later on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick this down now. Ooh, I've got the Eiffel Tower on both sides. Do I like that one better? Do you know what? No, I don't. Or do I? No, tonally this one fits better, but you're not really going to see as much as with that one. No, I think I'll stick with that side. Here you go, you see. Last minute changes. Get some glue. This is the Tombow Mono Aqua clear glue, which I like to use because you've got wiggle room. Alright, so turn that over and position that on the tag. Perfect. Right, so we're going to leave that to dry just for a minute or two, and then while that's drying, I'm going to come back in with this tag, and I'm going to very, very carefully follow the line of that door. To be about there. Sorry, I don't want to get my head in the shot either. And then cut along the top there. No, it's not going to be exact and it's not going to be perfect. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that back. And fold this one back. Like so. So now we have two opening doors that when that's stuck over the top will open up and you'll get to see that Eiffel Tower in the background. I know you can't see the whole of it, but you know, you can't have everything. And it wasn't really planned or designed for this. And this is just kind of an idea that, you know, people have come up with when they saw that these had windows. Then I could possibly see, but that goes off the page as well. So there are other scenes, other doors. But again, you see, to get the whole thing in, you'd need to take it. Do you know what? Doesn't actually need to be all that way up, does it? See, look, just had a thought now. We could just stick that in the background, couldn't we? So you do get the full, do you know what? There we go. Let's just change tack straight away. Wow. Who'd have thunked it, eh? So what I need to do is just grab a pencil. And that should do us. All right. I changed my mind. Here we go. Alright, so I'm still going to use that because it will still fit and that doesn't make any difference. But what it will do is we can now lay that one down over the top like so. So I can cut that down just a little bit further. At both sides. So after I've finished filming this, I'm going to go finish decorating Mum and Dad's bedroom while they're away. Mum and Dad are visiting my sister this weekend. I've not said anything previously, but things are not going well. Mum's mental state has deteriorated slightly. She's now started saying things like, when am I going home? And the other day she forgot my name, which was a bit of a shock when it first happened, but it's what does happen with people that have dementia. We just thought we had a little bit longer. So that was a pretty upsetting day. But yeah, so she started now saying, when are we going home? When are we going home? When can I go home? So, yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. All right, so we've got that now. So what I can do now is I can now stick that over the top of this one, and then we can trim that out. Now we've got that lovely little scene going on. But what I want to do before then is I've got some little bits of ephemera here, and the idea was maybe just to introduce that into, do you know, I don't think it needs it. So let's just go ahead and stick this down, and then I can trim all the excess off that I need to. Yeah, so it was, like I said, it was a bit of a shock, and you could see that she was getting confused, and when we were trying to explain to her that she lives here now, she was getting quite frustrated and quite angry, and yeah. But like I said, we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know it was going to happen so soon. Let me just grab a hole punch. I'm going to see if I can get all the way through. There we go. That puts that hole back in the tag. And we have that little window. So let me just close that up, grab the scalpel again, and this time just gently go around the outside. I think the worst part of it was Dad's reaction, because he was quite shocked and he couldn't quite understand what she was saying or why she was saying it. He didn't quite grasp that it's a condition. But like I said, we thought we might have a bit longer before she deteriorated this far, but obviously none of us realised. So she has an appointment with her consultant, the memory consultant, on the 1st of July. So we'll just have to try and convince her, you know, just to, this is where she lives now kind of thing, until we've had a chance to speak to the consultant. Because it's new with us, we don't know, you know, how it's going to go forward. Or, you know, what may happen. Alright, so I think I've got this little acetate butterfly. It's printed. Usually these things are absolutely a nightmare to get the backs off, so I'm going to struggle with that for a second or two, because not only is it difficult to get the back off, my eyesight's not exactly wonderful. Stick it to the scalpel, Mike. That's the one. There we go. And I just want to, it'll crease with the door, because it's only a little acetate one. I'll just wrap that around. In fact, I might just trim that off. There we go. And I did think about adding some other bits of ephemera, like I said, just to the outside, but I don't think it needs it, to be honest. Just try and put a crease in that door there, so that's it. There's a butterfly on the inside, there's now one on the outside, which kind of brings the outside in. But yeah, I like that. Yeah, I know it's simple and it's only a couple of layers and I'm just using what's there, but to be honest, do you really need to go over the top? Do you need to throw everything at it? Probably not. So like I said, these Vie Parisienne papers are on my website now. There also is a digi-download version if you don't want to pay for the postage and you're concerned about import and tariffs and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, there is a digi-download version of this, so you can also then print as many as you want. So knock yourself out. So there is that one, and of course the new Nature's Inspiration one is also available now as a digi-download too. So they're on the website, as is the art tag. Right, let me just flip that over, and then on the back we're going to write, and then what format do we normally do? No, right, okay, yeah. So we go frames and windows, which is the theme for June. So, and today is the 20th. Because obviously I missed May's, so we had to do May's in June, which is why I've had two this month and not the one. So let's pop that back into the tag journal, and there we have it. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Even though it is just simple, it's plain. I could always add a little bit of doodling, maybe a little bit of frame later on, but to be honest, it's very, very hot again today, like I said. So I just want to get out the shed as soon as possible because it's just too warm. It's like an oven in here. I have ordered an air conditioning unit for those that are interested. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered. All right, that's all from me for now. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. Ooh la la. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.